Hey there. Before we dive into using the Contact Picker API, it's super important to make sure your browser actually supports it. You don't want to go all in coding something that won't work, right? So, here's a little trick. We check for contacts in the Navigator object and Contacts Manager in the Window object. If both are there, boom, the API is supported and we're good to go. But if not, the console will let us know it's not supported, and that's our cue to cook up an alternative for our users. Hey, check this out. We're going to ask the user to pick contacts to share with our web app. First, we have a props array with the contact fields we want, like name, email, and phone number. Then, there are options to allow multiple selections. We use the Navigator Contacts Select method, which returns a promise. If the user allows access and chooses contacts, we'll get the details and display them. But if they deny permission or cancel, we catch that error and log it. Pretty slick way to integrate with the user's address book, right? In this example, we're exploring how a web app can access a user's contacts. We set up an asynchronous function to let users pick contacts directly from their address book. By enabling the multiple option, users can select more than one contact. Once selected, the function logs each contact's details like name, email, and phone. This could be really handy for sending batch invites or sharing data across social platforms. But remember, it only works with the user's explicit permission, keeping privacy in check. Hey, so if you're wondering whether your web app can access someone's contacts like their email or phone number, there's a cool way to check that with the Contact Picker API. It's kind of like a polite doorman that asks what info you can see. Just call Get Properties, and it'll give you a list of all the contact details you're allowed to use. It's super important to check first because not all devices or browsers will let you see the same stuff. So always adapt your code to what's actually available. Imagine this. You've built a cool web app that can access a user's contacts, but then you hit a snag. What if the user says no to sharing their contact info? Or something else goes wrong? The key is to handle these hiccups smoothly. Your code needs to be polite. Like if someone says no thanks to sharing their contacts, your app should simply say, no worries, maybe next time. And if it's a weird error, your app should raise an eyebrow and go, that's unexpected, and then quietly log it down for you to check out later. It's all about keeping things friendly and frustration-free. Hey, check this out. I am using the new Contact Picker API in a web app to safely access a user's contacts. This snippet lets a person choose a contact from their list, and we're asking just for the name and telephone number. The code then displays the contact's name and phone neatly in the console. But remember, privacy first. We've got to design this with user consent in mind and handle the data responsibly, making sure to respect the privacy settings and only do this on secure HTTPS pages. Hey there. Let me show you a cool feature for websites that need to access your contact icons, like those little profile pictures we have. This snippet of code lets a website grab those images securely. Picture this. You're using a social app in your browser, and with your permission, it could display your friends' avatars next to their messages, just like a native app. It creates a more familiar and personalized experience, don't you think? Here's how you can grab a contact's address from their profile using JavaScript. First, you set up an array named props with just address because that's what we're interested in. Then, you configure the ops object to allow selecting multiple contacts. Now, when you call Navigator Contacts Select with these parameters, you'll get back an array of chosen contacts. If everything checks out, you can access the contact's address, city, and country for the first contact and log them out. Keep in mind that different places have different address formats, so be ready to handle that. If something goes awry, an error will pop up in the console to let you know. Imagine you're grabbing a friend's contact info to hit them up later, but you're old school and don't want to write it on paper. You decide to keep it in your phone, but hey, your phone's savvy and asks, cool if I save this for later? That's what's happening here with this bit of code. It stores your bud's details in your browser's memory bank, local storage, after asking for a thumbs up. If you say yeah, it locks it down with a unique tag, but if not, no hard feelings, it doesn't keep it. It's like making sure you're not stepping over boundaries and keeping privacy in check. Alright. So there's this cool contact picker API that websites can use to let you grab contacts directly from your phone or computer. Now, if your browser is hip and supports it, you can just pick your pals from a nifty interface. But hold up. Not all browsers are in on the fun. So, if you're out of luck, the site needs a plan B, like popping up a good old-fashioned form for you to fill out your friends' details manually. It's all about making sure nobody's left out, no matter what browser they use.